Welcome to the InTalksicated Podcast, a weekly comedy talk show that dives into the personal lives of comedians, experts, and creators. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan, a very amateur stand-up comedian and self-proclaimed sad girl. It's the comedy podcast with a lot of heart. Feel hard and talk hard. This is the InTalksicated Podcast.
Listen, I was a young man in the 90s. I had those big feelings.
Yes, you did. But sometimes I hate when you think of a moment in time or a song and you're like, who the fuck was that? And I'm so stubborn with it where I refuse to Google. I want to let my mind figure it out because it's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Locked away deep in the crevices.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I have pretty good recall. And when I can't remember something, it does bother me. And I am getting to that point where I'm like, when I don't remember something, I'm like, is this the beginning of the end? Am I losing everything? Is all my databases just being purged?
I've been there for a while actually, but I actually attribute it to what I've now determined is long-term burnout effects.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But also I do have there is Alzheimer's in my family. So I'm also low-key scared. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, maybe it won't be so bad.
Yeah, it's
I'm approaching death, sure. Maybe it will be a good thing to not know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, no, it'll be good for you. It's only a problem for the people in your life. So you'll be fine.
I'm such a fucking selfish bitch. I'm like, as long as I'm okay. Mm-hmm. But then I also am like, oh, I feel like no one cares about me. That's what I was saying. I know that they do. I know that they do. You know?
No, they do.
I know. It's you know how life is, Kyle.
I do.
You know how life is. Shall we get into this?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. You guys, I'm so excited to welcome back for a second solo episode, third overall.
Yeah, that's right.
Second solo, third overall. Somebody who I deeply respect in comedy and life.
Aww.
One of the best writers in Halifax, I would dare say. Up there, top, in my opinion, someone who I love learning from, Mr. KYLE Carpenter.
Hello. Happy to be here. This feels like it's weird that this is just number 3. That feels strange.
It does, but I think sometimes when you and I talk, it feels like a podcast.
Yeah, no,
even though there's no mic.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
I'll co-sign that.
We never really have light convos, you and I.
Well,
one-on-one.
Yeah, when we get into it, it's usually we've cleared a space at the bar and we're like, so how are you?
Right? And it always seems to happen when we both need it. Because I remember we were on a show in the summer together and everyone else went home and you and I were just like, do you want to keep hanging out? And I was like, hell yeah, I do.
Sweet. Yeah.
That's nice. At this age, that type of hangout is more rare.
It is, yeah.
Now than it used to be, I feel.
Yeah, I hurry on home. Got a dog, he gets lonely.
Oh, the dog. How's your dog?
He's so good.
Scout, right? Scout?
No, Cooper.
Cooper. Whose dog is Scout?
I don't know Scout.
Cooper. Okay, that's such a good name.
That was his name when we got him. We made him, his full name is now Agent Cooper.
Agent Cooper.
He's an agent.
Why?
It's a Twin Peaks reference. But also, we like giving him a position.
That's so cute.
Make him earn his keep.
How old is he now?
Oh, God, we don't know. They said he was 3 when we got him. Could be older. Probably a little
mystery
older.
Age.
Yeah, so 5, at least 5.
Oh, so
probably
cute.
A bit older.
And how long have you had him?
Yeah, it's a little over 2 years now.
Oh my God. Yeah. See, that's insane. See, I would have said a year ago, but I have no concept of time. I was talking to Scott the other day and I was like, oh, is this your first Christmas in your house? And he's like, we've been in my house for 4 years. Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, my timelines are way off.
Well, that's the problem, I think, when you're, approaching middle age.
Yeah.
And COVID happens.
Yes.
And so it's like the two things combined to just make you go like, oh, fuck, nothing.
It kind of warps things in a strange fucking way.
Yeah.
But what helps for me is that I stay in the same spot. So people don't have to remember shit. Haven't moved. And like I've been in this apartment for more, like the length of time I've had the podcast, so almost 6 years.
Yep.
And I'm still doing the same old.
Changed. That's
the drapes changed. It's now slightly different.
Yeah, this is a good setup. I like it. Good for you.
It is a good setup. I won't lie. Your podcast is going to be the last of the year, and I'm quite excited to just what I usually do when I take an extended break is I push these like to the wall and I make this more of a living room than a studio.
Reasonable.
And I sometimes enjoy that quite a bit, having a living space versus a workspace.
I enjoy that you're kind of apologetic like that. Like,
I'm so sorry, guys.
Just sometimes, just occasionally I don't like to have a recording studio in the middle of my limited living space. Just every now and then, like as a treat.
As a treat for myself, I sometimes like to actually live in my living room.
Yeah.
Versus because I don't.
You selfish monster.
I don't really hang out in here unless I'm here.
That makes sense.
The occasional time I'll throw something on the TV. But I really don't consume a lot of, I don't know where you're at with your media consumption, but like I don't consume a lot.
Yeah. I do a bit these days, but it tends to be more a game.
Oh, I was wondering that about you. So you do play video games?
I do. Very quietly.
Computer or the other thing?
The gamut. I ran a gaming criticism website for a couple of years.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked, but also not at all shocked.
Yeah. No.
So like game reviews?
It was like semi-academic, like critiques of games, not like reviews, but more like food for thought.
Oh, interesting.
It was called Medium Difficulty.
That's a great name.
Ran for, like 2 years. It was free. Like we just did it for fun. I did all the editing. We published like 200 articles.
Holy shit.
Got featured on the front page of Reddit once.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Didn't make any money from it. And then we published an article that people got mad at and people were like, you're ruining everything. And I was like, okay, well, I'm tired and I don't need to do this anymore.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
But that's like the arc of the internet. I'm not even saying that. Like I was at a breaking point anyway. And then there was like a whole lot of censure for publishing an article where someone just said, hey, maybe we can all get along. And they're like, that's such a privileged thing to say. And I was like, okay.
Don't you love when you put yourself out there and it's just instantly criticized?
Well, no, it wasn't even me. Like it was just someone else we published, like a friend of the site's. And I didn't, I'll be honest, I didn't exercise the editorial control. Maybe I should have, but it was a thing I was doing for free for fun.
Yeah.
And anyway,
and then
it was fun.
Slowly becomes less and less fun.
It was less and less fun. But I will say, like, that was kind of that scene at that time. We stopped before Gamergate happened. You might have
Gamergate.
Gamergate was like this huge thing. It was like basically it was the beginning of the alt-right.
Oh, yay.
Started in gaming criticism where they were like, anyone who was like remotely progressive, they were like going after them and like doxing folks. And
was this because people were like linking it to violence and shit? Like, video games makes people kill people.
No,
criticism? Something else.
No, different. It's a whole thing. I don't know that I want to get into it.
Crazy.
Yeah, there are books about it.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
But basically, like, before the alt-right was the alt-right, there were a bunch of like gamers living in, their mother's basements and cultivating toxic ideas. And then they started going after like female gaming journalists, and shit like that.
Okay.
And then it was just like an awful place to be. So even as I complain about like, I got burnt out and, criticism.
Right.
Was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I got out when the getting was good because it got real toxic for like 2 to 3 years.
And then people get stuck in that and then it can be hard to leave kind of thing.
I think, there was like there was bad stuff for a few years.
I find it so crazy that a lot of these things like gaming and like different communities that are supposed to be like all about fun and joy become so toxic. Mm-hmm. I hate to bring it back to Taylor Swift, but it's the same thing with Swifties.
Sure.
There's like Swifties that are just terribly toxic to other Swifties.
Of course.
And it's just like, what are we doing? Aren't we supposed to be bonding over what we love versus like fighting about it?
No, well, the problem is anytime you make your identity about something that you do, then you have to sharpen your own sense of identity against other people's.
Yes.
So like it's a matter of differentiation, and then that becomes like there's so much stakes to it for you. So you have to like really cast out the heretics. It's
crazy. I would encourage people to, I love people who are fans of things. I'm a fan of things, but dear God, have more than one thing that you, do you know what I mean? Like don't make something your whole identity. Like there's some Taylor Swift fans that have now made themselves look like her, you know, like they walk around looking like her and people approach them thinking that it's Taylor. And it's just like, what? I don't know. Maybe it's just my inherent need to be different, or like unique and whatever. But like, I just don't get that. That boggles my mind. Yeah. Like boggles my mind. And I'm a big, like people would consider me someone who's a fan.
Sure. Yeah.
And can be a little obsessive and get into phases.
I know you to be a fan. You released a whole episode of this where you just like reacted to, I think it was folklore, right?
Yes. Yeah. I did a folklore reaction video. I've learned since then not to do those because it's kind of strange.
I mean,
the way that you take in, like, I much prefer to take in music now privately.
Sure. Yeah. God. Yeah.
Because it feels weird going, this reaction I'm having isn't entertaining enough. Yeah. Take two.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah. Or at least like cut it down to a 2-minute video or something. Just like,
yeah.
You know, let's do a super cut.
Do the basics.
Yeah. Like
when the highlights.
Yeah. When it's exciting. And that, yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird world.
Yeah. Well, and now I'm just reflecting. I haven't really been funny yet.
Oh, that's okay. I feel like this podcast has become not always the funniest podcast.
Yeah.
Because comics, it's like we have to be funny all the time. This is our therapy sometimes, sitting down and chatting one-on-one.
Yeah.
Some people are in real therapy.
Some people are in real therapy.
I don't know those people. I don't relate to those people. But
yeah,
I hear it's great.
How are you?
I'm not bad.
Yeah, good.
It's a weird this time of year is triggering for me for a lot of reasons because it's
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that for anybody else. You're weird.
I'm so weird. I get sad at Christmas time. No, it's not even like a sad thing. It's more of a I don't like the year looking back at your year and like New Year's resolutions and like people doing like 2022 wrap ups. Here's everything I did in 2022. I hate that.
Sure.
I don't like the keeping up with the Joneses feeling that you get this time of year.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Fuck that. Are you a big Christmas guy?
No.
No, yeah, good.
I don't know. I like Christmas. I like hanging out. You know, I like a cozy vibe.
Oh yeah, wait till I get to my assumptions. I have a lot of assumptions.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of assumptions.
But I resent the assumption that you're going to travel for Christmas. It's the worst time of the year to travel. I almost died.
What?
Going home for Christmas one year.
What?
Yeah, my brother and I had to drive from Vancouver to Vernon, and we were on an icy highway, and my brother was driving. He lost control, and we went across the road. It was busy traffic, so we actually like threaded the needle between oncoming traffic.
Holy shit.
Slammed into a cliff, not a down cliff, like we're at the bottom.
Yeah,
and there was a ditch, so we went off, but there was a lake on the other side. So if we'd gone that way or bounced, we'd have been in the drink.
Shit.
Yeah.
When was this?
This was years ago, like 2012, 13.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. But it's a shitty time of the year to travel.
Yeah.
Like the weather's awful. Everybody's trying to get it. Everything's expensive.
Yeah.
I would rather like set aside like a week of family time sometime else, you know?
Yeah. Maybe before or after Christmas or something. Or maybe not in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like November or February, like better.
That's the thing. That's what I fucking hate about Christmas then this time of year. It's the goddamn obligations.
Yeah.
You gotta get together. You gotta have a big meal. You gotta buy lots of gifts. I stopped doing gifts a long time ago.
Sure.
And I am now like truly being unapologetic about no gifts.
Sure.
Because I'm like, in this economy, single income in Halifax?
Yeah. Yeah.
No gifts for me.
Have a Mary go fuck yourself.
Listen, I just say my love language is words of affirmation. So I appreciate you. That's your gift.
Yeah.
I have a hot take that I'd like to get off my chest about Christmas.
Shoot.
I hate Christmas cards.
Yeah.
I think that they're the most pointless things in the world. They only end up in a blue bag.
I find cards unnecessary.
Truly unnecessary. Yeah. And this is no disrespect for people who like to write me a little note in a card.
Yeah. But
here's the thing. If you're going to write me a Christmas card, write me something with some meat.
Right.
In it versus have a great holiday. Sign. You know, I can't get behind cards.
My girlfriend, she doesn't even love cards. They're just like a part of the thing for her. Maybe more important than the gift.
Yeah.
Like she's really like, we need to go get a card. I'm like, do we?
Do we? Or can we just write on a label?
Yeah.
To blank from blank.
Yeah. She's like, no, I gotta go get a card. She has a stock of them in the house, and yet we're always out somehow. I don't know. I've come to like, I get her a card for the things.
Right. Because you know that's maybe important to her.
It matters to her. Yeah. But like, oh man.
Yeah.
I do not need a card.
It's just like, do people keep them? Like that's like my thing. I'm like, or do they truly just end up in recycling?
Even if they keep them, they're like in the recycling of your drawer. Yeah. Like just, yeah. You read it once and you're like, if it was like a thoughtful, like 2-paragraph thing.
Well, that's just it. I think there are times that it's acceptable.
Yeah.
One time being if someone close to you loses somebody, it's nice to write a note to them then, because it's like a non-aggressive way of showing support in a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah, they can come to it on their own schedule. I get that. Yeah, you're not like verbally approaching them maybe when they're too emotional to talk about it. So it's kind of a nice but even then I'm like, write something like that's unique to that situation, and not I'm just like, I'm so sorry for your loss or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
And maybe this is also some internalized jealousy because I associate people who give Christmas cards with people who have their shit together.
It is a planning thing.
It is.
Yeah,
you got to get addresses. You got to keep those addresses somewhere, whatever. You need to plan with the logistics of mailing them.
Yep.
And writing notes in all of them. And I've just never been that person.
Oh God, you reminded me. My dad for a while sent out a Christmas letter, and like I didn't see them. And then one year I looked at it, and it was like a whole bunch of weird veiled criticism of me and my brother.
What? Oh, like passive aggressive.
It was like, we've had an eventful year. Kyle is living, in the Lower Mainland. He thinks that he's going to be a writer, but who knows when that will happen. And then one day I was just like home for Christmas, and I was looking through this thing, and I was like, what the fuck? And he was just like, well, just, sharing what the family's up to. And I was like, fuck you, old man.
Oh God, that's always so cringy.
He thought he was just being funny.
Well, parents always have the best intentions. Most parents, I'll say it. Some parents have, some parents are shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times the intentions are good, but just the them doing it comes off the wrong way.
Yeah, and to be clear, I like my dad. We have a good relationship, but it's like one of those things where you're like, hang on, no, this will not fly. We are setting some boundaries now.
Yeah,
you don't fucking backtalk me to all the aunts and uncles who I see once a decade.
As someone, how many brothers do you have? Just the one?
Just the one.
Okay, so it's just you and he's older.
Younger.
Ah.
Interesting. I would have thought I scanned Big Brother.
I don't know what I would have taken you for. Huh. How much younger is he?
2.5 years.
Okay, this makes sense then. Yeah. Okay. That's like close in age.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah. Do you feel like the black sheep in the family at all? No, not at all.
No, I'm like, I've always been kind of
the white sheep, the beige sheep. You fit in. You felt like you fit in.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. What do we, it depends on what we're talking about. I got good grades. I was thought well of, I think.
I always see myself as the least successful family member in comparison to my other siblings. So when you mentioned your dad calling you out a bit, low key shade.
Yeah.
I felt that because that happens to me all the time. Just little things of if we go out for a family dinner, it's always split between everyone but me. They've never thought that I would be part of contribute because they just know that I'm the brokest one.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. On one level, that's just realism.
Yes. Yeah. And on one level, I'm thank God, because I can't fucking afford it.
Yeah.
But on the other end, money for me is such a sticking point. I have a lot of pride and I'm just I'm going to be poor. I'm not going to ask for money from my parents because I could and they'd probably give me money. But as a pride thing, I go, nope, not doing it. I'm not showing weakness at all. I'll figure it out on my own.
Okay. Sure.
I don't know. It's family things, man. I love how all this family trauma is coming up for me. Money, Christmas time.
Yeah.
Let's get to the assumption segment.
Yeah.
We're at 25 minutes. Here we go.
Okay.
I know, right? Well, that's the podcast time warp.
It's true.
It always goes faster than you think.
Yeah.
I feel like for most people. Okay. Here are my assumptions about KYLE Carpenter.
Go on.
You are, in my opinion, one of the best writers in Halifax, and you are a joke writer that I very much so look up to and envy your talent in that area. So I wrote, you have perfected a very specific writing process that works for you. Is that true?
Definitely not perfected.
But do you have a specific way that you write?
Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a process where I'll do the random thoughts and I'll think on a subject, but I find sometimes I almost need the punchline before the rest can write itself.
Interesting.
I will say in general writing, I internalize structure really quickly. So that's my day job is I write every day, not for funny. But I'm this is the point of it. So these are the steps I'm going to take to get there.
Man, yeah, that must help a lot.
I think it does. Jokes are different.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have a sense of we'll touch on this and I'll touch on this and I'll talk about this thing. And then you quickly find what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it's okay, well, get rid of this entire thing that I thought this was going to be. And I'll just zero in on what's working. So that's not perfected, but I feel I at least know I'll try this and I'll just know to cut 3/4 of it right away.
Right.
And then
your instincts are good in terms of
maybe. Well, no, knowing. I think my instincts are, they didn't laugh.
Okay, I have a question. How much time do you give a joke before you figure out what to cut? Is it, I guess it's probably not a strict number, but I know I've seen comics go, I tried something tonight, it didn't work, so I'm done with it. I'm like, you got to try it a bit more than once. I don't know. Like,
Man. Okay. Yeah. No, I think it depends. Like, what are we calling a joke here? Right? Because if it's a topic that I haven't cracked yet, like I'll put it on the shelf. I'll come back to it. Like I'll think about it some more. And then when I get a line that I know, like, that's gonna pop.
That's going to work.
Then like I'll do it again.
Right.
What I cut a lot of is the shitty setup.
Yes.
Where it's like,
not needed stuff.
Yeah. All the stuff that like you think you need it to explain everything and you don't.
And you just don't. You got to get there quicker. Get there quicker.
Cut that out. And you write some like sort of half-hearted things that, I'm painting it like it never works, but sometimes it does.
Right.
You do like one little sort of like throwaway line to kind of get you there. And maybe that works. Maybe that doesn't. That's what I'll cut like fast.
Yeah.
Like, try it twice, 3 times. If it gets nothing, either I haven't cracked the approach or it just doesn't work. But yeah, I think like cut to what works in the thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the key.
Right.
So it's like cracking. I think you start with the subject.
Yeah.
And then you need to find what works about it. And then like, it's rarely, I think you need to move past the point you were trying to make.
Oh my God, that's so true. You have to go with what are people reacting to?
Yeah. Like that's the point.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll realize that like what you thought was the punchline isn't. I love those moments where you're like, oh, this other part of the joke that I didn't really think like, and then, but they like that more than the actual punchline. So this is now the punchline. Yeah. And like everything else can be restructured or whatever. That's fascinating. Do people, I do feel like it's a consistent thing with you that people say that you're like an amazing writer.
If I can self-assess on that, I think I'm clear. Like I think if I have a notion, I know what I'm trying to say and I'm not going to stumble over it or repeat the idea too much.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say it once clearly and then get to the next idea.
Yeah. You're concise.
I aim for concision.
Yes. It's never like there are some people who you're just like, they're just up there rambling on like stumbling on what like, but you're never like that. You're like, this is what it is. And I'm saying this. Like you can try to find it sometimes. And I love that a bit, like, especially, for not punchlines, like for setup, sometimes a little bit of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do, but like some of that's very the conversational.
Yeah. Very human. Like people like it.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. But if I know what the punchline is, like, I'm not going to fuck that up.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to explain one of the key ideas guiding what I'm at, I'm going to make sure that's clear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I try for.
Yeah. And you do very well at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's a lot of people see you as an amazing writer. And I hope that you also see yourself sort of like that. I know comics have trouble going, I'm good at this and I'm proud. We don't do that very well.
You know what? I see myself as a writer.
Yeah. And I think, you know what? I think because like you do it for work, I think that is a big contributor to how, like, why you're so good. You do it all the time. You're not just a writer for stand-up. You write.
I write, yeah.
A variety of things.
But
do you journal?
I did for a long time.
Yeah.
Both like as a young man, then like during COVID, I kind of took it up again, but then kind of flamed out. Work was like just too busy during the pandemic. I was working too much. I was really doing like 50-hour weeks.
Holy shit.
And I was like trying to keep it up every day. But then like, as I was working that much, it was just like, I'm just saying the same things over and over.
I need to ask your opinion. Mm-hmm. This is what I ask anyone who are writers or write. What are your thoughts on writing prompt books?
Hey man, whatever.
I've thought about, because I have issues journaling because I don't know, like I know Chris has mentioned it. A bunch of people have mentioned like just the idea of like, yeah, you just sit down and you just write. And I'm like, I need something. I need a prompt.
Sure.
And I've thought about getting one of those writing prompt books that just give you prompts.
Great.
What are you yay or nay? Do you do it yourself or no?
I think I'm yay. I don't think I'd do it myself because I'm not sure I would find it that rewarding. But I think the creative process is problem solving. And you solve the problems that you have. And if like running dry or not having something to get you going is one of the problems, like fuck it. Yeah. Like use something that'll get you past the hump.
That will get it going. The motor's going.
Yeah. And if you find it rewarding, then that rules, you know? And if you don't, then don't, you know? Like I don't have a lot of expectations about what it should look like.
That's a good way to go. I feel like a good thing to do would be maybe each day go, what's something funny that happened today? Like what kind of everyday thing happened? What's funny about it? Like maybe that's something you can do. I don't know. Man, I find writing very hard.
Sure.
I really, really do. And I sometimes, like, now more than ever, I'm like, am I cut out for this fucking thing? I don't know if I am. I don't know if I'm cut out to do this. Like writing new jokes all the time. I find it quite difficult. I find it's like the biggest challenge for me is writing new jokes.
Yeah. No, it's not easy.
Not easy. But it seems to come easy for so many people. And I'm so jealous.
Well, you don't see what they're doing.
No, that's true.
So I do try to write every day.
Yeah.
For jokes. Been a bit, again, work's been nuts for a month or two.
Is that like new ideas or are you going back to old ideas?
Anything.
Just anything at all?
Anything. Could be 5 minutes. Some days that's all I can do. If I can do more like half an hour, then I'm happy with that.
Oh man, that'd be epic.
But I think the whole, and like I could see a world where I do more.
Yeah.
Like if I was a full-time at this, I would do hours, I think. But what I've been doing is like I have my notebook and I write in it and I just like every day try to keep the habit going. And that's kind of more the goal than anything.
Yeah.
And just write whatever. And like, even if it's, I don't keep it organized. I'm just like, whatever comes to me. And if it's a better wording of something that I'd done before in it, then that goes in. And I just trust myself that I'll look over it and I'll know what I was going for. So I don't even try to finish the thought.
Right.
Just like, oh yeah, I thought of a different thing for that. So I'll write that down. Like, it's better if I say the whatever instead of whatever, like that kind of thing. Or sometimes it's just like a subject has occurred to me and I just want to like write about it for a bit and see if there's anything that pops up in there that's like, that's a crystallization of that thought.
Like writing about the premise you want to talk about, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. To get to what's got some juice in there.
What's funny. Yeah. Man. I do like it when you come across a topic that you're like, I know there's something and I know that when I find it, I'm going to deliver it with such passion.
Yeah.
Like for me personally right now, I really want to talk about body positivity and how it's bullshit. The whole movement is bullshit.
Sure.
But it is one of those more touchy subjects because it's what I'm saying could, in some people's minds, be perceived as fat phobic.
Right.
Because it's me talking about, I know I'm old. This was just the line that came to me. I know I'm old because I still want to be skinny. And I loved that line so much.
Yeah.
That I was like, there's something to that where there's a specific age. There's a specific age, I feel. And I feel like it's maybe 33 and younger where body positivity was embraced and, larger women are like loving themselves. And I agree. Everyone should love themselves. But like my thing is just like, it's just not for me personally.
I mean, that's okay. That's great.
But it's me portraying. I have to say it in a way that's me saying, I'm in support of you.
Right.
But this is my personal take on body positivity where I don't love myself at every size because I literally recently lost 10 pounds from the flu. Never felt hotter.
Yeah. I'll be honest. There was a part of me that was just wanted to say congratulations.
Right there.
And then I slowed myself down. I was like, is that what I should say? And then you said from the flu. And I was like, just walking through a minefield here.
The thing about not eating is that it works.
All right.
You know, and that's what happened. I just wasn't eating food for the flu.
I know if I may, you asked me to to prepare a rant.
Yeah. Oh,
or come in with a rant topic. I think this segues into.
Actually, let's get to the rant, but let's do a few more assumptions first. These can be quick and dirty.
Oh, sure.
These can be quick and dirty. Okay. I said you would, or you have done a masterclass.
Yeah, I have.
What was it?
Well, I didn't finish it. I did get the Steve Martin one.
Oh, cool.
And I'll be honest, when he released it, I remember I had a lot of comedians on my feed being like, like you could learn to do comedy from a video. And it's like, fuck you. Like, yeah, like just get up and do it. Like, yeah, you know what? You can also read a fucking book. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting. Cause I've been asking comics that more and more lately, the idea of can funny be taught? Or like, can you learn, can it be a skill that you develop?
I think, yeah, like, I think you can, like, I don't think you can in a tube, like, or in a vacuum.
No.
But like, yeah,
you got to go to an open mic. You got to go to mics. You got to watch it.
You got to do those things. But like at the same time, like if you've listened to a podcast where someone you thought was funny was talking, and they like talked about their process, like you've gleaned something from that.
Yes.
You know, so like, and I think learning is a process of developing your own understandings and then incorporating new things. And the joy of that is sometimes you're not ready to hear a thing, but then you go back and you've done your own progress, and you go back to a thing you listened to like 3 years ago where you got something out of. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God. You know, you hear the thing you didn't hear before because you were ready for it.
Right.
So I do a lot of that. I will listen to the Gary Gulman good one like once a year at least until the day I die, I think.
You will listen to it?
I think so.
Okay.
I get something out of it every time.
Wait, what's it called again?
Gary Gulman's episode of Good One.
Okay.
Good One, a podcast about jokes.
Do you want to know what? I'm going to listen to that. Cause I feel like coming from you specifically, like just where I love your jokes so much. If you got something from that, I want to get something from that. So I'm going to fucking check that out. Make note of that, Sarah. Right now, you're editing this podcast. Go and find that episode.
Listen, it's a good podcast. Definitely there was like a window and it was really great. Have a look. You'll find lots of folks you like on there. Nikki Glazer's a few episodes.
Fuck yeah. I think I actually listened to one with Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay. Good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what it is now. Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like with a lot of those comedy podcasts, like I'll listen to like, I don't listen consistently. Like I'll usually listen if like someone I like is on it or someone recommends it.
Yeah.
I feel like the podcasts I listen to are so bipolar, like in terms of like it's either like Your Mom's House, which is just pure debauchery and ridiculousness. And then I also listen to like podcasts with like neuroscientists.
Right.
Like talking about there's this guy Andrew Huberman who has a podcast, and just most times it just goes right over my head, but like I'll usually glean like one or two facts that I'm like I can pull these out at a party now.
Yeah.
I feel good about myself.
But back to the masterclass.
Yeah.
I was just curious what Steve Martin had to say.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, like his stuff when he was a comic was like formative, super strong. I was just like, I want to hang out with that guy for a couple hours.
Was it worth the masterclass? Like, was it worth the money?
No.
Okay.
It was pretty good, but it was like, they're not cheap.
I feel like you're someone who enjoys learning, and that's a compliment. Is that true?
Sure. Yeah.
Not everyone likes to learn.
I definitely, I like to think about things.
But like, I feel like if you're not learning, like what is life if you're not taking in more knowledge?
I like progress.
To keep your mind sharp too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Progress is fun. What about success? How do you feel about success?
I'm over it.
You're over it? I want to get there so bad. I'm still kind of obsessed with the idea of succeeding.
Yeah. No, I have a job that I like that pays me a living wage.
Oh, ain't that nice?
It's pretty good. And I have a background that was like meant to be my calling, or I thought it was. And then I hated it, which was, I was going to be a professor and I didn't like it. And I dropped out and life was better.
Right.
So that kind of, I don't know, that's been a very helpful to be like, oh, fuck my dreams. My dreams are stupid.
Yeah.
Let's get stable. Let's get happy. And let's like work on a thing that I find satisfying.
I think most people get to an age where they're like, yeah, struggling isn't so fun. Struggling to be happy isn't so fun. And maybe I can be happy if I do something that causes me less stress.
Yeah.
Or like, I think the stress thing is like, it would be nice to just not be stressed all the time. Yeah.
And I think also like, if you're following a dream, it's probably one you had when you were a teenager or in your early 20s. Mm-hmm. And you were a fucking idiot back then.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever had a dream. Like, so when you were young, were you like, I want to be a professor?
Oh God. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. It was kind of the one thing that you wanted to go for?
No.
Yeah. I was all over the place too.
It was a little bit parentally mandated. I was kind of like, I was good at it. And my folks, my mom in particular, was like, I just think you'd be so good at it. And I was like, whatever, path of least resistance.
Oh, got you.
But I liked it, but like, I don't know that it was my love. I wanted to make comic books.
Oh.
Yeah. And I wanted to be an animator at a certain point.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But also like looking back, I don't know that those would have been the thing either.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
To think about just like what your life would have been if you had pursued those other.
Yeah.
Do you think this is actually interesting because it came up last night? I was at a gathering with some other comics
humble brag.
Some other comics, one of which is in med school, Kirsten Finch.
Sure.
And we were just talking about the idea of the decision to change your career path at certain ages, and like just the idea of like, the old saying, you're never too old to start over.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's maybe a limit. Like for me, like I would have loved to have been a psychologist or something.
Sure.
But like thinking now of starting from scratch is a little scary.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to do it. I think it's more of just like that's the path. That was an alternate reality that could have happened, but I won't know her. You know what I mean? Like this is the path I'm on now and I'm going to stick to it kind of thing.
I think it's never too late to change. But I think there's still like, it's a young person's notion to think you need to go back to ground zero to make a change. Like you don't necessarily have to go to school for the thing or, like you don't have to do it in the way that is, fully prescribed. Like you get a degree, you get a diploma,
right?
You pay a university way too much money
for
them to declare that you're like a person of some talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, I think change, but also maybe don't like fall into a Richard Scarry kind of notion of what your job might be.
That's so true.
Right? Like there's other ways to get into that thing or to explore that field in a way that doesn't require tens of thousands of dollars of student debt.
Won't be as intimidating. Yeah.
Or like that builds on what you've already kind of got in place.
It's kind of like, okay, psychology for me, like the idea of going to school and like being a registered psychologist, that would take time and money and education. But it's like, maybe I look into another certification that's kind of in that same area. That's not as not as much.
Yeah, like maybe like occupational.
I could be a life
therapy.
coach.
You could be a life coach. Anyone can be a life coach.
Like no one would trust me as a life coach. I feel like it would be. I would not have a good backing behind me for being a life coach, even though I love the idea of helping other people with their lives.
I mean, I think the problem is you kind of fit the profile of a life coach.
I do. I'm like, here's this quote that I found that's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Like
I was lost my entire life, but I found purpose in helping others for a $300 an hour consulting fee.
Right? I'll be honest.
I hope you find that purpose too.
I'll be honest. Those people actually drive me fucking
of course
crazy. And I'm kind of a little bit of a snob when it comes to the idea of therapy, because people will send me things that are considered like alternatives. And I go, I want top tier, educated. I want the best of the best to figure out this fucking mind. Maybe that makes me a snob, but I do. But I also think like therapy should be available, far more available than it is, and far more affordable than it is.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think any action is better than none.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's real easy to get addicted to the trappings of that action without actually making any meaningful change.
Ooh, that was a good quote. That was good. That was a good one. Oh, more assumptions.
Yeah.
I have 3 more.
Oh, Jesus.
You spoil the fuck out of your dog.
Yeah. I mean,
have you bought him a fancy dog bed that maybe resembles a couch?
No.
Like that kind of spoil? Or is it more...
He has a nice bed, but it's not like... We don't treat him like a human. Right? Like he's a dog. But...
Yeah.
You know, we get him... He has a nice bed and he gets some treats, but he mostly gets loved.
Yeah. I get that sense. I get the sense that you love the fuck out of that dog.
I love the fuck out of this dog.
And like I said something recently on Twitter that was I don't trust people who don't make a big fuss out of their pets.
That's fair.
I don't trust people who aren't always so stoked to see their pet.
Yeah.
Because how cool is it to have a little pet that's yours, that loves you?
He's all love, and like it's in me to give it back, so I will. But that's funny. That's why I didn't want to get a dog, because I knew I would love it like too much, like kind of. Like
you'd get too close to it.
It'd be a problem. You know, and the thing that scares me if they get sick and it costs like so much money to get them healthy or like to maintain.
Right.
And that kind of thing terrifies me.
That is quite terrifying, I will say.
But now I'm like, now that, you know, we've got the dog, I don't mind. Like we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Cross the bridge when you get there. Yeah. And there's also, because I've been thinking about too, for me personally, I don't have a lot of savings. But there's this, I forget what it's fucking called. It's essentially a credit card for vet services, where you can apply for it and it will cover certain things, but you obviously have to pay it back, but it acts like a credit card.
Right.
And I'm like there's stuff like that out there that can like kind of alleviate some of that stress. Cause I have that stress too, where I go, shit, what if something happens? Cats, I don't think it's as much as dogs. Like dogs, my sister's a vet.
Yeah.
So she will, like, if I name a breed of dog, she will be like, okay, they can expect this, this, and this. Like, she's kind of a downer in that way.
Yeah.
She brings it right down. What kind of dog is Cooper?
He's a Chihuahua cross with something.
Okay, so he's a mutt.
He's a mutt.
Okay, because my sister says mutts are the way to go.
Yeah.
In terms of...
So clearly.
In terms of dogs, that she approves of mutts.
It's so insane that people want a specific kind of dog. Like, they're all good. Like, fuck your desires to have a particular dog.
And it's like so specific too. Like there are like people that I know whose family has only ever owned one breed of dog.
Yeah.
And it's insane to me.
I get that more now because I know this guy
Right.
And if I lost him, I would want this guy again.
You'd want the same kind of breed?
Well, I think I'd be tempted to find the same breed because what I want is Coops.
Yeah, you want
one more time. So, I could see that being a thing where you love the dog. So you're like, well, that worked. Maybe the next one will be just like.
Right.
Because there's like a genetic assumption about the character.
And there's also probably a comfort level with like the disposition of the dog and the particular breed.
Sure, yeah,
that you grow attached to, that you're like, I would like that again kind of thing.
Isn't that messed up that we bred personalities into dogs?
We really have, eh?
Yeah, no, that is 100% the whole point.
Yes.
Dog eugenics. Dogs are eugenics.
Like golden retrievers are like always associated with like the perfect family because they're usually seen as the most perfect dog.
They're friendly. They're kind of dumb.
Yeah.
A little, I think you want a little dumb in a dog.
Yeah, you do. Big dumb dogs are the best.
Big dumb dogs.
Big dumb ones.
I
feel like little dumb ones are more like they're more easy to make fun of.
Yeah, yeah. Coops isn't. He's not an idiot, but he's not smart either.
Do you dress him up in things?
He's got a kerchief or two we put on him for special occasions, but that's it.
Cute.
Yeah, he's the best.
Oh, I love that. I love that you have him. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay, another assumption.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is even an assumption so much as a fact that I just know about you having like hung around you so long.
Yeah.
You have a great way of telling it like it is without being an asshole.
Hey, I'll take that.
Which is, I think, a great trait to have.
Here's the thing. I have reads on folks.
Yes, you do.
But like, I'm not mad at them.
No, you just, you observe human behavior and you say, this is what I've observed about you.
Yeah. Well, I keep a lot to myself. So as far as telling it like it is, sometimes I don't. It's like, I'll keep something under my hat. But I'll have an opinion, but like, it doesn't need to trouble people. And I don't feel like I'm not mad that someone acts in a way that I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It comes off as very judgment free.
Yeah. People are people. Everybody's fucked. We're all doing our best, Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
Do you want to, we have to tell the listeners about what you said about me that I want to get printed on my wall. Which is, you said that I'm classically insecure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just was so dead on that like, I was just like, that was a masterpiece and no one will ever just, I don't know. It's just like such a simple, again, non-judgmental.
I mean, what I want to emphasize there is like how much is put on classic. Because it's like vintage almost.
Vintage, yeah, that's what you said. It's almost vintage.
It's like a car with fins. You're like, oh yeah, well, that is a classic. Look at that. Like it's not like what I would drive, but like you look at them like, wow, that is cherry.
They don't make them like me anymore.
Yeah.
These kids growing up have no idea.
To be clear, like I'm not trying to.
No.
Yeah, but I think, you're an insecure person.
But it's funny to me because just the classically insecure is almost vintage. Okay. My last assumption is just a funny one. I just said, I feel like you own a lot of leather bound books and your place smells of rich mahogany. That's an Anchorman reference, everybody. Yeah. For those who don't know.
Mahogany.
What did I say?
Mahogany.
Oh, shit. I combined mahogany with monogamy.
Yeah. When you're committed to one brand of wood.
Fuck, that's funny.
One species of wood. Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
So that's not true, but I get what you're saying.
Your aesthetic to me is like a cozy cabin with a lot of dark wood and just like, like you're a cozy person.
I like cozy.
Like that's just like what I associate
I
with.
like a cozy.
But not just like cozy, not like we're in a onesie and we're eating popcorn in bed. More like you're in a nice cabin with like a fireplace burning and everything is nice and tidy. Are you a neat person?
Kinda.
Okay.
But like I will let things get messy and then I'll clean it up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel coziness and like yeah, manliness, like a masculine cozy. Maybe that's the way to describe it.
Well. Well, all right.
Take the compliment, Kyle.
I will.
That's like a compliment.
I will. No, I like a cozy.
You're flannel and a human.
There's not like a ton of leather and like dark wood in my living situation, but definitely like wood tones.
Would there be?
I like some.
If you could design your dream place, would it be?
Not all the way through, but yeah, I could do with a room. You know, a study.
A desk with some books on the desk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like creating Kyle's room.
One of those green banker's lamps.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm into that.
Yeah. I feel like if you were to burn a candle, it would be like a tobacco scent.
Oh, yeah.
Candle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
I do love, I know it's ridiculous when things are marketed to men, but you know, you see a scented candle that's like rum and tobacco. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah, I could deal with that.
I feel like you don't have children, but I feel like if you did have children, they would go to that section of Kohl's where they have all the dad gifts. They would buy you stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the 10-year pen or whatever it is, or like those gimmicky things.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be happy about it. That would be, you're right. You're right. They would, and I wouldn't like it. They're like, yeah, thanks.
Oh, that's so funny.
Actively choking down my disappointment.
I love gifts that are meant to be gifts. They're never good.
They're awful.
They're never good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a period where we got my dad like the joke books. Because like, I don't want to, I shouldn't put him on blast and on the public record, but he liked the Red Green show.
Oh.
So he definitely got like the Red Green book because I was like, 8 and, need to get dad a gift. And we're like, let's get him this because that's a thing he likes. Oh. And then he gets it and he's like, thanks.
It is. I mean, fucking gift giving. Oh my God. It is such an awkward thing because you said that and it reminded me of a gift my parents got me a couple years ago, which was podcasting for dummies. Yeah. Again, because it was that, she podcasts?
Yeah.
She'd love this, but it's like low-key a backhanded compliment.
One of my favorite aunts got me once an Eckhart Tolle book.
What's that?
It was like spiritual self-help kind of dude. And like not the worst of that ilk, but definitely like, seek the authenticity within. And I'm like, oh no. Marg, do you know me? I thought we were tight.
You're like, I'm already there. I don't need this.
Yeah. I read cunts.
Oh, fuck. This is why I don't like giving gifts, because like there's so much opportunity to offend somebody.
Yeah. I think the guide is you get something that they would love but wouldn't buy themselves.
And I think you can't go wrong with a gift card. You really can't.
Yeah, you can.
Are you anti-gift card?
No,
I guess it depends on where to.
I might be anti-gift card. Like I'm always happy to get one, especially if it's for a thing that I like. But it is then like
kind of
now
lazy.
I gotta go make a decision.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And I don't know when I'm getting to chapters next. I don't go out there all the time.
See, where I go, I don't trust other people to make the decision, and I'm a control freak, so I love a gift card.
Yeah.
Because like my mom has consistently gotten gifts wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like she's never really
podcasting for dummies.
She doesn't quite hit the mark. One year
she should have gotten you podcasting for complete idiots. For blithering, drooling. I'm sorry.
No. It's, and I'm so bad at hiding my reactions.
Yeah.
When I get a gift that kind of like I don't like.
You do have an expressive face.
I really do. I got to get better at that.
Yeah, you're like a silent film actor.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like sort of like
I don't need to talk.
Yeah, no, it's just like Lon Chaney transforming into the Wolfman. Sarah has just let you know that she does not like the Podcasting for Dummies book. And like it goes to a dialogue card, but you didn't need it.
Oh man. And like I don't know how your family does or did Christmas in terms of opening gifts, but we would do the everyone has a turn. Yeah. So all eyes are on you.
Yeah.
One year my mom got me a sewing machine. Why, you ask? Because I made a Wonder Woman costume for Halloween and she assumed I was now pursuing costume design and that I would be making, little did she know, my Wonder Woman costume was like a cheap corset that I bought at like a lingerie store, and then I glue gunned.
Yeah, hot glue.
Yeah, I did hot glue,
bitch.
The whole thing was hot glue. Like I even like hot glued little stars on like a white bodysuit. And I was just like, oh, I'm not going to use this, Mom.
Yeah. Also, like, she knows where you live, right? Like, you're not fitting
a sewing machine, right?
Yeah, like what? Yeah, put it on the like this desk that you're podcasting from, like every other day. Like, no.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem too. What I'm hearing is your mom's getting you things for like life directions. Like she's still trying to be like,
yes,
well, maybe you could be this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. God bless her. I just, well, now she asks specifically, what do you want? And I used to not tell her. And I said, now I just give her a list.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, don't get me anything, but if you're going to get me something, get this.
And I liked it. I also love just like sending the Amazon wish list just to be like, yeah, like I have a little wish list here.
Yeah.
I just think it's the better way to go, because otherwise I will not like it.
Yeah, well, if you want her to stop, just start sending her like the Adam and Eve like wish list.
Oh my God. Fuck, that's funny.
I need water-based lube, okay? Not silicone. Water-based.
Fuck. Oh man, that's funny. All right, those are the assumptions.
Sure, yeah, I think
I think I did pretty good at them.
I think it's pretty good.
I don't think I did too bad. So now I'm curious. Now we're gonna get into the rants.
Yeah.
We're going to do the rant, and you have one for me, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I forget what prompted me to want to say it earlier.
Writing, we were talking about.
Yeah. My rant is, I think a lot of folks get into comedy thinking there are funny things to talk about, and that's it. Like you can go up and talk about a funny thing, and people will find it funny. And I want to be like, no. Oh. That's where you start. Yeah. And you need to you can't go up with a premise. You can, if you're ready to bomb, to find the thing. But there's a next step. And I think that's my rant is stop just assuming the premise is the job done.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'll tell you about this.
Yeah.
So I recently closed out Oasis. First time closing out an open mic.
Oh yeah. How was that?
Oh, it was terrible. Because the crowd was god awful. And I will blame the crowd this time because they didn't even give Claire Belfort what she deserved.
Sure.
And she was the first one up and all of us went, Claire's not getting stuff? Oh, shit. When the fear of God comes in comics.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happened. And essentially every comic was in survival mode at that point. And a lot of us went, fuck this show. We don't fucking... And I was proud of myself because I was just very much so just like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous. I'm just going to go up and do the thing. And fuck it.
That's worth a lot.
You know, I think so. Because I think otherwise I would have overthought it and like just made myself not have fun. Instead, I went, this is a shitty show. Let's drive it into the ground. You know,
point the nose down.
But it was really funny because there was this guy and he was clearly a little drunk.
What?
And
at Oasis,
and he came up to me, or came up to like comics,
yeah,
and he did the whole, you know, I've always wanted to try comedy. I've always thought about it, and like all of us were just like, yeah, man,
yeah,
do it up. Ask Dave for a spot sometime. And but I see when people like that corner me, I get too encouraging, and I should not encourage everyone to like do stand up. But I also was uncomfortable. Anyways, this guy heckled Albert during Albert's set. Albert was on right before me, and I think he said something, it didn't quite land, and he said something like that joke didn't work, or he said something.
Yeah.
And the guy in the crowd was like, it doesn't matter if you have jokes, as long, something along those lines. And I was just like, oh God, that's such a certain personality type's perspective of stand-up, where it's like, I'm just going to get up there and talk about a funny story, or like most times it's stories. I find they get up and they tell about something funny that happened to them.
Right.
And there's no like twist or like, and there's no
stories can be bad.
No structure or thought put into it. And there's, it's not written as a joke. It's more like storytelling.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that.
I think stories are bad. I think trying to make a point is bad too. Yeah. And like, again, like whatever, you can make a point, but I think it's the thing where people see the very best go up and they're like, oh, they're just saying what they think. And no, they're not. They are very carefully walking you through a garden path that was like built off of an initial impulse that they edited the fuck down, like over hundreds of sets, and then like arrived at the parts that still mattered to them enough that they could kind of get to them while with you on board. But I think a lot of folks see that. And I'm not pointing to, there's a tendency to interpret this in terms of like a political spectrum, left or right. I think that's insane. But like, I will say like anyone can go up and just start telling you how it is. And it's like, no, it's not. Like either we agree with you or we don't. And if you're not like trying to do anything, like just going up with the premise of what you wanted to say and not thinking about like, okay, who am I up here? How am I interacting with these people? You know, like how are they going to react to this thing? How do I deal with that reaction? Yeah. You know, like,
Yep.
Or vice versa, not, a political point, but go up and you want to say something kind of contentious. Just like, I'm going to say the thing that's going to make everyone uncomfortable. That's like, cool. Then you have to release that.
Yes.
You need the thing that's like, you say it and everybody's like, ooh. And then you just going, oh, you guys didn't like that. It's like,
which is such a go-to for so many comics.
Yeah. It's like, no, they didn't. We didn't. What are you doing?
That's always a tough one.
Yeah.
It is. And I maybe I associate it with it being like a new comic thing to do that.
Oh, but, I'm sure. And I'm sure you can find lifers who still do it, but they're also the ones not getting, booked.
I just feel like, if your goal is clapping, that's not stand up, make a YouTube channel or something, or do a TED Talk.
Or even,
But that's not comedy.
Yeah. Well, and there needs to be a next step.
Yes.
And that's my point. That's my rant is like, you start from a premise. When I taught writing to like university students, like university writing, what I would say, and it was an English class and people were like, I don't know how to write about books. And I was like, okay, this is what you do. You read the thing, think about the thing that bothers you or the thing that excites you.
Yeah, I love that.
And then ask, why does that bother me or excite me? And then ask why once more. Why is that the reason why I'm excited or bothered? And if you can answer that second why, you've got a paper. You've got a good paper.
Interesting.
And I feel like a lot of people doing stand-up, especially in the first few years, and like, you know, whatever, you grow at your own pace. But like, I think you got to get past that premise from just talking about a thing that bothered you to like reflecting, who am I in this?
Yes.
Why is this a problem? Do I want to just lecture the audience? And like, I think you shouldn't. I think you should try to build a bond with them in some capacity, even if it's in that like kind of play of antagonism.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think you got to get to the next step. Like, why am I bothered? Why is that silly? Who am I in this? Why am I being ridiculous in this? And I want to bring that back to that premise you said about body positivity.
Yeah.
Like, you've already done the work, I think, of going to the next step. Like, body positivity. Not for me.
Not for me.
Which is already like funny. And then you're exploring like your relationship to it.
Yes.
And you're not just trying to tell people body positivity is bullshit. It's just like, you're fat, you're unhealthy, fucking.
I'm not getting on a soapbox.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do, I think, is, maybe this is just generally my approach with stand-up, is like, I want to bring people to those, I hate saying the word uncomfortable, but those feelings that we have that we don't necessarily say out loud that are in a lot of us. And maybe we don't say them out loud because of the climate or whatever. But or for whatever reason we're scared to offend or something. But like my thing is like, I just want people to relate to what I'm saying and also find it funny. And I want to twist it and have them, you know, hear it in a different way. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal. Clapter is just that's not what you want.
No,
unless it comes after a laugh.
Yeah. And like, you can loop it in, but like, you want something else there. But I think like, to me, it's way more compelling that you've already contextualized this and like your own feelings and your own insecurities and like why.
Yeah.
Because you still have hope.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I could get skinny. You know?
There's still hope for me. I can change it. Yeah, no, it's exploring those topics. And I actually fucking gotta say, I love podcasting for that reason.
Yeah.
I find that this podcast has helped, and I think a number of comics have come out with bits from things that we've discussed on the show. I
got nothing.
Because not yet, Kyle.
All right.
Not yet. Sure. But because in conversation that can naturally happen.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about something and you're bouncing off each other.
Conversation, just bouncing, like riffing. Yeah, for sure. Like
certain subjects, you might just like have a moment of, ooh, I can incorporate that somehow in a joke.
Yeah. If you can find one thought that's well expressed and you know is funny,
yes,
then that can be the linchpin for everything else.
Yes.
You're like, it retroactively determines your entire path through.
It's like a work back. Like in many ways, I know I'm old because I still want to be skinny was that for me. I was like, oh my God, that's the line that like I think I can work with. Either whether it's the end point is that line or the beginning point. I don't know. I don't really know yet. I'm still exploring that. But it's at the end of it, I do compare it to anal sex. And I say like, I'm really glad you guys are all doing it.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Like something like that. But Yeah.
But I think there's something rich there.
Yeah.
In that like, you're too insecure for body positivity. Like you're too committed to the insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
that's because it's ingrained in me.
Yeah.
As a woman of 35, as probably a lot of people in their mid 30s, women specifically, probably grew up with mothers who put them on, you know, Weight Watchers at age 15.
Yeah.
They were the original gaslighters.
Sure.
Our mothers.
And then, but there's also the weird way in which body positivity is just another thing you have to do now.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I'm already busy.
I'm busy dieting.
Yeah. I'm trying to lose weight and now I need to love myself on top of that. Fuck you.
it's just so much work, Kyle. Fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it's the same with men. And that's a whole other topic I'm exploring. Just the idea that like the idea of loving ourselves is certainly more on women than men, like in terms of the things that are marketed to us and shit like that.
Right. But it's a very specific kind.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to love yourself in an Instagram friendly kind of way.
Yes, that's right. And
brutal.
that's why I fucking hate it.
Brutal.
That's why I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Ugh, I could pop off about this forever.
I will say, I've said this before. I might have said this to you, but might have said this on this podcast, but it seems pertinent, which is like, I did have a moment of body positivity for myself, which was realizing that in gay culture, I'm a bear and that's not bad. And just knowing that there are men who would absolutely fuck me was like, oh, everything makes sense now. Cause like, yeah, I wanted to be a, skinny faced guy. I'm not even if I dieted so much, my face would still be wide as fuck, Yeah.
It's acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm supposed to look basically like this.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that's a whole thing too. Well, what's that saying? It's like, you can't ick someone's yum or something like that.
Don't yuck my yum.
Don't yuck. And there's a shoe for every foot or Jack for every Jill. That's kind of heteronormative. But
sure. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't even think it was that. I think it was just like in one culture that I'm killing it, even if it's not one I participate in, and kind of wish I could sometimes, but it's just not me. I'm sorry.
That's so fucking
But
fun.
just knowing that in one field, I am a snack was like,
yeah,
that works.
You are not a single man, but I think a lot of single people figure this out based on the matches they get on dating sites.
Yeah.
And I said this on Matt's podcast, but like I've determined that I'm the level of attractive that like every now and then a guy who's a 10 will slip through the cracks and be into me. But for the most part, like 3s still think they have a chance. Which is like when I look at my matches, it's quite apparent that there's a certain type of man that's into me. And I'm not really into that type of man. That's kind of sad.
Hey,
but anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah. I haven't found my bear equivalent yet.
Yeah.
For me specifically.
But yeah, like the thing that works.
Yeah.
It's almost like you need a tag that works.
Yeah.
Not like a comedy tag, like a hashtag, like this.
Yeah.
Just to organize your own even approach to yourself.
Oof. That's interesting.
Like I'm this, so I'm gonna dress in this way. I will say, the word bear for me was like, okay, no, that makes sense. And like it did, like, no, I'm not shying away from plaid.
Yeah.
And I'll dress cozy. I will dress as well as I can. This is a chambray, I think
you always dress quite nice.
Thank you. Aw.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
you definitely appear as someone who has their shit together.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
But
I do. No. It's so funny. I have friends in the scene who are younger men.
Yeah.
Who are very fashion oriented, who wear shit where I'm like, what are you doing?
We could just name them, Kyle, at this point.
Yeah, we can. Like,
we're at over an hour.
Yeah, it's
a lot
true.
of people have
What's up, Mitch?
Oh, shit.
No, like Mitch is a beautiful guy, but like he makes big swings and like carries it with like, hey, this is what looking good is. And I'm like, is it?
Is it really?
And I get it. I'm not playing the fashion game, but I make choices to like look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. It is interesting that like certain people have a style.
Yeah. And that's, it's cool. And I respect even the like experimenting with how you look.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like not in the same way. I'll do like very slight
alterations.
Slight alterations. I'll incorporate a little more color, maybe.
Slight enhancements.
Slight enhancements. Yeah. So like walking back the thing with Mitch. Mitch, you're great. Like, yeah, he's like, yeah, let's fucking try this. And to him, that's what's cool. And I think it is cool. But I also think, like, you know, give it 10 years and look at these photos.
I was going to say, I think it's also very much so an age thing.
Yeah.
Early 20s.
True.
Figuring out what you want to look like. I've realized that the female comics that I look up to where I go, oh my God, I wish I was that cool. This is a weird observation I had recently. It's like, this is so weird. And I think I told Claire this when she was on the show.
Welcome to Halifax Comedy Fashion Cast.
The way that certain female comics wear a pair of jeans.
Sure.
In a way that's like, you know, that they're not like bloated in them, that they're like fully comfortable.
Yeah.
And it looks so effortless and cool. I will never be one of those girls, but I look like I'll wear a dress. Like,
Sure.
I'll, you know, wear a skirt or whatever instead. But I just like look at them and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was that fucking effortlessly cool.
Yeah.
But it's just not me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And
That's
at 35, I go, this is just who I am.
That's right.
I'm not going to be the chill, cool girl on stage. I'm just not.
It's true.
I'm gonna
Hey, you know,
cheers to that. Cheers
I'm a little bit out, but yeah,
cheers to accepting ourselves for who we are.
that's it. But yeah, I wouldn't say you're not cool, but I would say you are not chill.
Certainly not.
Yeah. You're kind of, there's always a little bit of a,
There's always a little edge, eh?
little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit. And it's not like, it's not off-putting, you know? Like some people you talk to and you're like, ooh, you are a live wire. You don't have that. You just seem like
There's a little bit of uptightness.
you're not entirely comfortable.
No, it's actually very much so a goal of mine to become a little more chill. I feel like I'm getting there with stand-up. I feel like I'm getting a little more like, I try not to overthink things anymore.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Like to not overanalyze every single thing.
Yep.
I also just want to have more fucking fun and embrace joy.
That's
my goal.
I think that comes with time, but it does come with like just being open to what's happening, not expecting a set to be any one thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I got like so many messages about Oasis being like, oh my God, congratulations. And I found that funny.
Yeah.
I found that funny personally because I was like, I've done, no offense, Oasis, I've done bigger shows that were paid shows that were like 15-minute sets. Like I've already done this.
That's true. I would just generally, I would rather be past the point where you're thinking to congratulate me for something.
Yeah.
I would so rather just be like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because the congratulations is kind of almost being like, I know that you wanted this so bad.
Or like, or that little bit of condescension, like, wow, you're doing just great, champ. It's like, no, yeah. I'd so much rather just like someone sees me on the bill and just think, yeah. He's where he's supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And in which case it's not so much a congratulations. It's more of like, oh my God, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Or it's like, a better way to say it. Yeah. Are you stoked? Like,
yeah,
it's fine. It'll be another set.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Navigating like compliments with stuff like that is always like Matt with his album taping. Oh yeah. Like it was funny to me because I was just so like, oh my God. Like I definitely and then I realized right away my energy was too much for what it was for him. Yeah. That I was like, oh, it's like a balloon, like like deflating in front of it. Yeah. And, don't feel bad about that. But I also like, I feel that just like, no, I mean, I think it makes sense for me to do now. And it's not making or breaking anything. It's just another thing that I'm doing. It's another thing you're doing. Great. But you know what? Some people don't do it. Some people don't do it. And I think that that's something comics should be proud for. I think comics, like if it is something like an album recording or something, like that's fucking awesome. You took the initiative to do it. That is a cool thing.
Yeah.
The fact that you did the thing. But no, we have the third segment.
That guy rules. I missed that.
Matt Baker?
I missed his taping. I was like hammered with deadlines. I was so tired.
Aww.
I've been a little out of the game for a while.
Yeah, you tend to you're someone who, and I'll say this before we get to the next segment. I look up to your relationship with comedy, and by that I mean you're not someone. I don't see you on every single show poster.
Yeah.
But like, that's a good thing.
I'm not, I don't,
Cause like, there's some people that I'm just like, I'm exhausted for you right now. Like how are you doing this? But like, you're someone who, like, what I would say is like, you make it count. Like you come back.
That's what I try for.
With a beefy set that's like new and
try to have
awesome.
some thoughts.
Yeah. Which is like, so like, and I strive to be that eventually, like someone who like, it's like quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I really respect that in a comic. Yeah,
I try to get up a couple times a week, but I'm not grinding it out like if I was 20 and I didn't have anything else to live for.
That's just it.
Like I'm not competing with that. I would lose in that competition.
There's other things that make you happy outside of comedy.
Yeah, and I'd rather like feed my brain.
Yeah. Ooh.
Than like just do the same things every week with all the same people. And I love a lot of folks,
Yeah.
Love seeing everybody, but like doing the same thing every night would not
be beneficial for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be getting new stuff out of it,
No.
Anyway, but
that boundary is a good thing.
Yeah, but I was sad. I missed. I just couldn't make it out to that recording, and I would have loved to see it.
I thought he did great. He wasn't the most thrilled with his tapings.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well,
we're all too hard on ourselves, just generally speaking.
He's so good. Matt, you rule.
Matt, you fucking rule, man. Oh my God. One of my favorite like humans on this earth and like podcast guests and everything. So it's pretty fucking awesome that he did that. We still don't have an album name. But stay tuned for his album coming out. Do you ever want to do an album?
Yeah.
You did the asses of, but did you ever want to do your own?
Yeah. I'm in no rush though.
No rush.
I'd rather I like getting better.
Yeah.
And having new stuff. And kind of, I'm always looking for the next like breakthrough. Cause I think breakthroughs come from new material.
Yeah.
Where you write a thing where you're like, this is the new level I'm at.
Yeah.
And then like maybe you go back and edit the things that you have been doing based on this new standard that you've discovered.
Yeah.
That's great. But like, I feel like I just want to work on the next thing.
That's a good, like realistic goal to have. Yeah. There's a lot of people with unrealistic goals. That's no fun.
Yeah. I mean,
keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple. I'm in it for the work itself. Like, I just like it.
See, and that's, I think the key. I think the key to happiness in stand-up is just genuinely like enjoying the process of comedy.
I love it. I love every part. I even love the misery.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, this is what this feels like.
Nothing like a good bomb.
Oh yeah, every now and then. Every now and then it humbles you. Yeah, pretty good. Weirdly, like, oh, now I get a pizza and then I go to bed.
Now I get to treat myself.
Yeah, I get to console myself with a slice on the way home. Stop by Randy's.
Is that how you process bombs?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's the rule, but like I've definitely been like, oh, calories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. You're someone I've never seen you react badly after like bad sets or anything.
I mean, they don't matter.
They don't matter. Well, that's just it, everybody. They truly don't matter. Have that mentality and you'll be fine.
Yeah. We've had good ones. We've had bad ones. More of each will come. More of each will come.
That's a great way to look at it. Okay. Third segment, my favorite segment, because this is what tells the audience and me why you're not perfect. So what's wrong with you?
Well, I'm fat.
Stop. When I asked that to Kathleen, she just didn't miss a beat. She was like, I have ass cancer. Like,
yeah.
I was like, Kathleen, No.
She does have ass cancer.
She does, in fact, have that.
Know thyself. I was thinking about this. I mean, so many things.
Yeah.
Clearly, like, fuck it. We're all working on it.
We're all bags of issues.
I think one thing that is something been an issue my whole life that I think I'm getting better at, and also I've found a way to help it work for me.
Ooh.
Is I was like I was a serial hobbyist where I would try everything.
Yeah.
I kind of draw. I kind of play guitar.
Yes.
I kind of write poems and stories and stuff. And then just like all this stuff where I just try everything and I'm working on it. And the problem is I would get to a point where to push through, I would need to like really focus and like work the fundamentals and do the shit. And then I would stop and go to the next thing. Like, Would
you succeed at the first thing?
No.
Or master it? Yeah.
No. Just like stop, but like slowly build skills in a lot of different things without like ever focusing in that way. We're like, oh, I'm going to get to the next level.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did this start at a young age?
Yeah.
So what types of things were you involved with as a young kid?
Yeah. Drawing.
Yeah.
That was in grade school. I was big into drawing.
Same, actually.
Loved it. Yeah. And then I loved comedy in grade school. Didn't know you could do it, but I just loved it and like read a lot about it. I read so much. I liked fantasy novels. I wanted to write fantasy. And then I loved comics and I wanted to write comics. I wanted to draw comics. So we covered some of this already.
Oh my gosh.
And then in my 20s, I learned I was a poet.
Yeah.
I wrote poetry of like one, I've placed in contests.
Love to read one of your poems.
They're around. I don't know. It's been a long time, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And then just like that was, and learned some guitar, wanted to write songs also. And I think it was all tied to that fear of like, if you try really hard at something and fail, then that means you're bad. So I would not do something perfectly. You know what I mean? Like if I'm just a fuck up, then maybe I'm a troubled genius.
Oh, I see.
Who just hasn't tested himself yet. But if I could get it together, I would discover that I'm secretly brilliant.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I think that was a part of it. And then also the thing where just like, it's easier to go to do something else.
Oh my God.
But, I'm also widely interested in things. I like learning about lots of stuff. And, when I was studying to become a professor, I had a real tough time concentrating on just the one thing because I lost interest in it.
Right.
And I ran a video game criticism website and I took up comedy.
Yeah.
And I wrote a fringe play and was still drawing and like playing guitar and meeting with friends and doing all that shit. And I gotta say, in the last few years, my life has gotten a lot smaller in a good way. Where I have a job that I like, that I work full time, and I really only have time for comedy and then like my relationships.
It's kind of forced you into focusing.
It's kind of forced me into focusing.
You've built a life that has made you choose.
Yeah.
Where you're putting your energy.
Yeah.
In terms of extracurricular.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think I've found a job where all of that like weird going around doing all sorts of things, I'm like weirdly well suited for the work that I do.
Oh, that's really nice.
Which needs a lot of knowledge for lots of stuff where like I'll talk with a client and they'll propose a project for like, we're going to teach kids about augmented reality. I'll be like, okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know a thing or two about the thing that
I know. Yeah. And like
a wide variety of
that's
things.
One example, but yeah, like just everything I can pull a lot.
So what maybe you would have considered a flaw has now become an advantage.
And I think even in the context, working on a PhD, that generalist knowledge was not serving me.
Yeah.
But then in this context, like it fucking rules.
And I think like too, like you saying you have a job you love. Oh my God. Ain't that nice?
It's good.
To like not hate your life every day.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
It's pretty good. Like there are things that I would change. I would like to work less.
Yeah.
Because it's been all out.
Yeah.
But no, it's like good. It really works.
God, I relate so much to the serial hobbyist thing.
Yeah.
I was the same fucking way.
Yeah.
Tried everything. Did guitar, gymnastics, soccer,
Sure.
horseback riding. Like I did so much, and I would have called myself actually a serial quitter.
Oh, interesting.
Because I wouldn't even try to get to that next level. I would just try it very briefly and quit.
Interesting. I think that's so interesting. My mom, this is, getting into it. She wouldn't let me quit things.
Oh.
But to a point where I think it was like, there was another problem with like the lesson where it's like, no, you're not good enough to leave something. You owe it to this. And it
was a discipline.
It was a discipline, but it was also weird. Where like, I was a cadet.
Oh, okay.
I was in the cadets.
Oh, shit.
I was a teen.
Oh, man.
And I had got a lot of good out of it. But then like around 15, 16, I was like, I feel like I'm done. And she was like, no. Because she weirdly got more into it than I was. She like joined the parents committee and like helped run the fundraising shit. And like, I don't think she was getting anything out of it either. So that's the weird thing. It wasn't like she was more into it, so she needed me to like keep her in it. But it was more like this weird sense of like, no, you got something out of this, so now you stay in it until it's over.
Oh, she wanted you to see it through.
Yeah, but I feel like in the way where there was no through. It was just like, no more of this, keep going.
Huh.
So I don't know that this is tied to the thing that I was just talking about necessarily. But I definitely got like an internalized sense of, oh, no. I need to prove myself to these things.
I think that's a good thing. Versus my mentality of my parents didn't really discipline me in that way. They just let me quit.
Okay.
And which I think probably attributed to a lower work ethic in my early life.
Sure.
But now I've overcompensated for that.
Yeah.
And at this age in my 30s, where it's like, now I'm like, oh no, I got to work.
Well,
prove.
But that's good then. I mean, let's face it. None of us are getting through this unscathed.
God, no.
Like everything is going to be a trauma at some level. Like any experience you have, you're going to have something in yourself that you don't feel entirely in control of.
Yeah.
And it's going to be because of something that happened, probably related to your parents.
It is shocking how much is like tied to childhood.
Of course, yeah.
It's like such a cliche thing in like psychology and stuff, but like it is like so true.
Yeah, we're just loose bundles of coping mechanisms.
We really, really are.
That's it. Yeah.
That like we've just developed over time. And then eventually you like when you're like in your 30s, you start to like put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like in your 20s, you were just literally surviving and having fun too. But then when your 30s catch up to you and you start tying all your life issues back to childhood, it's just like, oh, the puzzle's coming together here, which is so interesting.
And you start to figure it out because they become maladaptive.
Yes.
Because like they kind of work for a while.
They do.
And then you hit a point where you're like, why isn't this working anymore?
Yep.
Why am I so unhappy?
So I don't know if I told you about my cringe Halifax experience.
No. I mean, could be any of them.
So true. So Ryan William has this show called Cringe Halifax.
Oh, okay.
And the whole point of the show, he's only done 2 so far. Right. But I was part of the first one. And the whole point of the show was you bring like something like, whether it's like diary entries, maybe poems you've written when you were younger, like something from your childhood that was cringy. I brought old live journal entries.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
I have not been the same ever since uncovering those live journals, because Sarah went up there and there was some really funny stuff in there.
Yeah.
But turns out there was more sad things in there than funny things. And I read them in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And the crowd felt that sadness and did not laugh. And I then realized, oh, this isn't sad funny. This is just sad.
Yeah.
And it was one show experience that like I would say is up there with like, just like, oh my God. Like I can't even, like he sent me the video of the set and I was like, I can't ever watch it.
No.
I can't ever. There were some good moments. There were some good moments, but I went up there with far too many entries.
Yeah.
I went 10 minutes over my time.
I mean, that's cringeworthy in its own right.
It is.
I would so much rather have everyone I know roast me the shit down.
Than ever do
Just
something
like
like
no
that.
holds barred than like share, much less share, look at a photo of myself at the age of like 15.
Oh my God.
Like, no.
I don't mind photos, but man, my words were cutting. My words were like, oh my God. Like I hated my parents. My parents like were pretty strict. They wouldn't let me see my college boyfriend. And you would have thought that you were reading like Britney Spears' Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Like about her conservatorship. Like that's how dramatic my ass was. But like, oh my God, I'll never forget. Like finding your teenage journal entries is quite eye-opening. I was like, I'm going to bookmark these, but not for me, for my future therapist. Like truly, truly, truly. Because there's so much in it that I go, holy fuck, this isn't funny. This is like legitimate things that like have formed who I am.
Yeah.
Which is so messed up, Kyle.
No, thanks.
Did you ever have a live journal?
No.
So like, do you know what live journal is?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's like, and then it would always say like, you could pick your mood and it would be like a little dancing emoji.
No. Yeah.
It would be like thoughtful, melancholy, excited.
I think at the time there was nothing in me that was like interested in that. Like, I don't need people to know where I'm at.
But it was funny because you would add friends on there, but then you would do passive aggressive journal posts about those friends.
Oh man, no. No way. No how. No. No, I want to hang out with friends and shit talk all our other friends. Come on. It's, the old fashioned way, artisanal.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't leave a record. Are you kidding me?
no, you can't. You can't. Kids, don't do that. It'll come back to bite you. It won't be good. Just do it the old fashioned way in person talking.
Well, and this is the difference, I think, is if you're writing that, you want them to see it.
Oh, 1,000%. It's like,
Yeah.
It's the original vague booking.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, that's so interesting that you feel that way.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck, no. Oh my God. No, that I don't have never had much time for that kind of like, I'm going to imply that you did me wrong in some way and want you to
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
I know it's about you and somehow change your ways and come forward.
Yeah.
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 My God, live journals was such a mood. I posted so many song lyrics too.
Yeah.
I would just post song lyrics, which is like such a love language of mine. Just lyrics, posting a lyric that I relate to.
I've done that. Just posting a lyric, usually like something a little bit ironic.
Yeah.
But then the one time I thought it would be funny to be to post like, sharing song lyrics is an okay thing for a grown man to do. Yes or no? And it was so overwhelmingly no that I was like, oh yeah.
Where was this? Facebook?
That was Facebook.
Yeah,
and,
Facebook it used to be.
I wasn't really doing it anymore anyway, but like, every now and then I'd like hear a lyric that I really liked and I'd just like share it with folks just to let them know what I was listening to.
Isn't that funny that Facebook used to be so much more like a journal? Like
Yeah.
It's really not the case anymore.
I think we're too wary. Like, I think we've learned.
Yeah. Like you post an occasional status that's quite funny.
Yeah, usually it's a joke. I don't share anything personal.
No. But like back in the day, I hate saying that. Like, 2006, 2007, whatever. Like it was literally like Sarah is blank.
Oh,
and you would write like, I'm going to class and then I'm going to a movie after. It's just like, can you imagine us posting stuff like that now?
Oh.
And just like the fucking responses from comics.
Yeah. No, thanks. Yeah, no. It's fine. Yeah, like I'll share, I don't know, I have a very curated list. I feel like Twitter obviously is on fire, but
yeah,
I didn't like Twitter, and then eventually I ran like a business Twitter account,
right,
for Clients from Hell when I was running that.
Yes,
and suddenly that's when Twitter clicked for me, which is like, oh, it's for selling things. You sell things here. And then like any notion that it's for like connecting with people or like writing your views or like having discourse, like, no, that's not what it is. It is for selling things.
Yeah.
And like any emotional response, good or bad, is a way to like have people buy things.
Right.
And that's it. And if you keep it to that, that's how Twitter makes sense.
I think I honestly, I feel like Twitter is what you make it. I follow a lot of comics on Twitter and I find it like mildly entertaining.
I mean,
I've curated the Twitter to show me who I want to see.
Sure.
Not things I don't want to see.
If you're reading it, sure. In terms of like participating yourself though.
Yeah, no.
And even then they're selling comedy. Like
that's right.
Right? Like
that's right.
They have the time. They're trying to get followers so that people will come to their shows.
Retweets are like money.
That's it. Yeah. That's like the
Currency.
only thing they're trying to do. And like, if you approach it from that, where it's just like more content, like fine. But I don't know. I'm pretty tired with it.
Well, you're someone who you have a pretty distant relationship to social media in general.
I've gotten there.
Which is like admirable.
I used to use it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I don't know.
Do you find that's a like healthier way to live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's so true.
Yeah. Like,
my God.
Like if you're, I don't know, you're way better off just like not being in touch and seeing someone every 2 months.
God, it's so true.
Like,
no, but you're not wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. It just gets you in your own head. I think Facebook's one thing. I'm on Facebook because it is so curated for me, but it's curated with people who I know.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and it's not me trying to keep up with the Joneses or make connections with like people who are more established and professional in whatever capacity than I am.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also not Instagram where I think you're trying to curate an image of who you are.
Yes. Instagram's the worst for like comparison.
Yeah. While
the comparison factor.
While also it's all it is, but it's also incorporated the like, I'm so above comparing myself to others. I'm going to live my life exactly the way that I am. And it's like, no, you're not. You just like flipped that discourse in without changing anything. And I'm not trying to call anyone out for it. That's what it's for. Like that's the
purpose.
That's the technology was built for people to do that.
Yeah.
And because we're sophisticated, we like deal with we see the criticisms and we loop it in, where it just becomes like a more sophisticated version of self-flagellating yourself.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to, again, I don't want to call anyone out, but I just think it's a lot of mental energy.
It's fucking wild. And hearing from people who do it as a job, it feels like one of the most emotionally taxing things to do, because if you're like, not to give influencers pity or whatever, but it is truly like you're selling your life.
Yeah.
You're giving people your life as your job. And that to me is like kind of fucked up.
It is. No, that's totally fucked.
And I feel like with comedians, it's a little different because, I mean, I think some comedians do it really well where they only share so much, but they're sharing themselves because it's part of their character on stage.
Right.
You know, so like I love Nikki Glaser, not just because I enjoy her stand up. I love her as a person based on what she shares with me on socials and also podcasting and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's tied to what you do. But it's not all of what you do. Whereas influencers, it's their fucking job to post every day.
Yeah.
You got to post every single day. You got to always be doing interesting things.
Yeah. And you're selling you.
You're selling you.
No, it's exhausting.
Exhausting.
I think, well, it's so like, I don't know. It's interesting culturally where like in the 90s, there was the fear of selling out.
Yeah.
And then you had this discourse of like, I want to do what I love. I don't want to just work a job. I want to go out and do something I'm passionate about. And then same way, you know, the like Instagram incorporates the like criticism of Instagram is like even more doing it harder. Mm-hmm. That thing of like, I'm going to work what I'm passionate about becomes like a responsibility.
Yeah.
So like your life is your job and then you have no boundaries anymore. And like all your time is put to it. And then like your whole sense of self-worth becomes tied to that thing you're doing. And that stinks for other reasons. And
Isn't that fucked up? Oh my God, it's really fucked up. Well, it's the reason that I'm probably toning back the podcast going forward, just because it's so much of my identity that it's becoming like this can't go on forever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
pump the brakes.
A lot of interactions I have is like, you should have this person on and you should do this. And it's like, there's this fear of like, if I stop the podcast, are people even going to talk to me?
Yeah.
Which is like really fucked up. Because yes, they should. They should still talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, like it might change your relationship with some people.
Yeah.
But like, that's fine.
But maybe yeah, exactly. And maybe that's what I need, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe I do need people who like, maybe I do need to make my life smaller, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is.
Let's get small.
Let's get small. I want to get small. I love being small. Fuck body positivity. Losing 10 pounds was the best thing that ever happened to me.
No, there's something there. I know Kyle Kinane has a joke similarly where he talked about, I'm so down, like the climate apocalypse is coming and everything, but I realized I still have hope because I recycle.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's all shit. The politicians, they're not pushing through we need to get carbon levels down and the whole thing. Like, we're dead in 7 years, man. No, that goes in that bin. I was like, yeah, that's fucking so true.
That's so true. Oh my God. Okay, we have one more segment, Kyle.
Jesus, yeah.
This is the last segment.
All right.
On our journey tonight.
I don't know. I know what it is. You shared with me, and this is where like I'm less on solid ground.
This is the one that is most likely to get us canceled. This is the unpopular opinion.
Fuck.
Don't hate me for this, but it's time for unpopular opinion.
Something, and so traditionally, it's funny because like I feel like people don't always go there with this segment.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to.
They choose safer things. Let's hear it. What you got?
I kind of don't know. Most of my opinions, I don't have that strongly is the thing.
Yeah.
So it's
unpopular opinion, I feel like it's something that like, if you were at a party and you were to say this thing, it would create a group of people going, what? You think that? Like, that's the kind of unpopular opinion. Something you might be afraid to say because it's the lesser popular thing.
I like Carly Rae Jepsen a lot more.
Yes!
Wait, no. I like her a lot more than Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay. No, I actually love this.
Okay.
Tell me why. Okay, actually, first question.
Yeah.
Have you given Taylor Swift a chance?
Yeah,
Maybe not as much as you should.
Deep listening, but I also don't vibe with it in the same way.
Okay.
And this is why. I think Taylor Swift is a powerful artist of her own image.
Yes.
So I think she's really good at breeding devotion, of presenting a self that commands attention and identification. And I think that's where she works.
Yep.
I think she's the artist of the Instagram age. I think she forged what it looks like to be someone who is like the perfectly authentic self, which is like highly contrived.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's just really good at that. And it's not a thing that was ever for me.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of respect it at a distance, but I don't connect with it.
Yes. Not as much as Carly.
Carly's fun, man.
Oh, my girl, Carly.
And she was just like, I just love it. I'm going to write the fun songs. I'm going to go to Sweden. I'm going to pay the producers to like get me to that next level.
Do you know of the Jepsen pattern?
I don't know the Jepsen pattern.
So I talked about this with another Carly Rae Jepsen fan, Heidi Brander. She's a big Carly Rae Jepsen fan.
I don't know about the pattern. I want to know
this. Is I feel like you'd respect this. Mm-hmm. This guy, fucking forget his goddamn name. He was a music producer. He wrote I think it was like 150 pages of research into Carly Rae's songwriting in terms of the themes that she covers. So there's all of these themes that are always hit on in her songs.
Sure.
And he's created these patterns of reoccurring themes. So things like unrequited love. And what comes out of it is all Carly Rae songs are actually deeply sad. Even though they are very happy sounding, the content is deeply sad because it's all about losing love, wanting love, not having it, unrequited love, wanting to run away, escapism, wanting to run away with somebody. And it's like all of these themes. Yeah. And I geeked out so hard when I found this.
Sure. I mean,
because it's right up my alley in terms of like, I fucking love dissecting songs.
Yeah.
This person I think there was like some Me Too stuff about him. So he's not the most perfect individual.
Okay. All right.
just to make that note, you guys, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. But
I still think it's fucking fascinating about her songwriting because I often think people do not, they underestimate her.
Yeah.
Because they think she's just like the Call Me Maybe girl.
No, yeah. Well, and that's not even my song. Like I came on board with emotion. Like it's just crystal. Like it's crystal pop songwriting.
Yes.
She loves the craft.
Yes.
And
she has a great voice.
Yeah. And she's like having fun. But to that point, like I think all pop music is like happy, sad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I see, that's where I think Taylor's different though, because I feel like with Carly and like and this is why we love her too.
Okay.
She's stuck with things.
Right.
She has a brand that she's stuck with. Whereas Taylor, I do think she does, like her latest tour is called the Eras Tour because every single album is a new era of Taylor. The look and feel is different. The branding's different.
So that to me seems more being stuck with a brand. Because
that's her brand, I guess.
Because she needs
reinventing.
Yeah.
Being a chameleon.
Carly's new thing, like she's got a bunch of fun stuff. That Beach House was fucking fun song.
Oh, right? And she just did that. She's like, I'm going to have fun with this song.
Yeah.
I also think that could be like also the fact that she's older than Taylor.
I didn't know that.
Carly Rae is what Heidi Brander calls secretly old.
Oh, that rules.
How old do you think Carly Rae Jepsen is?
Well, now that you've told me this.
Well, okay. Okay, yeah. Go on, though.
I mean, just based on Call Me Maybe, it was like 2000, mid-2000s. I would have thought she was in her late teens when that came out. So, yeah, I guess she'd be up in her late 30s by now.
She's 37.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Taylor is 33, I think.
Right. But she was just so much more famous at a much, much earlier age. So much earlier age. Feels like.
So I think that could be part of it too, is like that she's very adult. Like she's like, this is who I am. So this is who I am. Whereas Taylor's probably still shifting who she is.
I think she seems more adult to me, but in that way where she's a controlled media product.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
She just knows her angles. She knows how to present herself. Like,
and anyone who doesn't think that is dumb.
Yeah.
I will, even as a fan of hers, I will fucking say that it is all goddamn marketing.
Yeah. And she's good at it, and the machine's there. Like that's her great talent, I think. And I'm not trying to diminish her songwriting.
No.
And but like she's just so engaged in her own narrative.
Yeah.
That's kind of more the product.
That's kind of more the product. It also makes me feel fucking sorry for her in some ways, because I'm like, that must be exhausting.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You know,
going back to what you were saying about the Carly Rae pattern,
the Jepsen pattern,
the Jepsen pattern. I love, and I think I've always loved, I like it when something contains its opposite.
Yes.
I like an ugly song with a moment of beauty.
Oh.
I like a beautiful song with a moment of ugliness. I like something that's sad that has a wistful like happiness to it. And I like something that's happy that's got a bit of sadness on the edges. Like I want that all the time.
The contrast.
And I think the recognition that there's always the other thing there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
The name of my theater troupe, which, theater company, which has only done the one Fringe show, is Happy Sad Theater.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. What was the show that you did?
It was 50 Shades of Vinyl.
I love that.
Which was an erotic parody of the Vinyl Cafe.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I know this.
We've talked about
this.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's fucking amazing. Yeah. Happy Sad Theater?
Yep. Oh. Happy Sad's one word in this case. But.
Happy Sad. But it is. I love, I think I do gravitate more towards the happy sounding sad song. So Wonderful by Everclear.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Happy sounding sad song. Like the actual beat and like the feel of that song is like very poppy and happy. Oh, that's a sad song.
Yeah.
That's a sad song.
But I think like it's more true to human experience.
Oh my God, yeah.
To have them both, because like at the happiest you are, there's that pang that you know that it could go away.
Yeah.
And as sad as you are, sometimes like there's a part of you that recognizes this is beautiful right now. Like when
there's
your heart's
something
broken,
good in it. Yeah.
When your heart's broken, you know that you're suffering in a way that's like powerful.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you know, you got to participate in something greater than yourself. Like, I think people are aware of that.
Right.
Don't get too invested in that narrative. But even so, like wherever you're at, like there's that sense like, you're young and you're miserable. You are hanging out with your friends all the fucking time, you know?
So I feel like because you start this with Taylor Swift, this heavily relates to her latest album, because she has a couple songs on the latest album that are about just that. In fact, she wrote a song that everyone assumes, and I think it's pretty well known, that it's about John Mayer taking her virginity at age 19. Yeah. There's a line that's dance with the devil at 19. And the God's honest truth is that the pain was heaven, is the line.
Right.
And it's like talking about that terrible heartbreak being actually like some good came from it.
Yeah.
Which is, oh my God, that's so fucking powerful. Do you have a favorite sad song? Like one that's just, this is just sad. Because I was watching there's a thing on Netflix called Song Exploder?
Yeah,
Song Explorer?
Song Exploder.
There it is. Yeah. I literally just discovered the show.
Yeah.
I watched the Killers one.
Sure.
And I also watched the 9 Inch Nails one about the song Hurt, which like that song is.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a powerful one.
Yeah. God, I mean, I love sad songs. I don't listen to it exclusively.
Yeah.
I've been accused of being like a guy who listens to sad bastard music. And like, I fully do, but like, you know, I contain multitudes. Like,
yeah, you're multifaceted.
Yeah. I love pop, you know?
Yeah, I love that you love Carly Rae. And you know what I gotta say? every smart person I know appreciates her.
I think.
And that says something about Carly Rae's music. So everyone fucking goddamn get your act together and give her a chance.
I think
listen to her.
You hear the production on emotion.
God, it's
like
so good.
even if you're not a pop person, if you hear that like opening synth sax, like you're like, oh no, something's going on here. But yeah, I have so many favorite sad songs. What's but you're looking like purely sad.
Purely sad.
Ooh.
In the fields, in the trenches.
Yeah. Oh, Sufjan Stevens, Carrie and Lowell.
Okay.
It's an entire album. It's about his mother who died. She was like, she had mental health issues, but so there are songs in that are like,
yeah, deeply sad, eh?
Yeah,
fuck,
but gorgeous. Another favorite songwriter of mine is Will Sheff, who is the principal of Ockerville River, and he writes some fucking devastatingly sad.
God,
yeah. I love it. He just released an album that's like about middle age and, life in the arts and disappointment.
Ooh,
and it's like,
I'll have to check that out.
I vibe it pretty hard. I don't know if you'll dig the sound, like it is kind of more in that folky spectrum, but he's got a song called Nothing Special, which is about learning that you're nothing special against your like youth visions and how that's actually kind of freeing.
Oh my God, is it ever though?
It's so good. Yeah, like freeing yourself from the narrative that you're going to achieve something, and not in the sense that like, oh, you're not achieving something, but rather challenging the notion that you're going to change everything.
Yeah.
And recognizing that the accomplishments you have are worth something.
Yes.
That, man. There's another song of that album called In the Thick of It.
Ooh.
And the lyric is, there's a dance you do in the thick of it. You don't have to know where your feet go. You just know. There's a dance.
Isn't it funny when you know the lyric, but like when you say a lyric, it's so much different.
You already know where your feet go. You don't have to think of it.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
It's fucking great, man. He will put me in my feels in like a contemplative way. That's what I like about sad music. It's for like, okay, let's deal with this. Let's have a listen. Let's think about where we're at.
Yeah. Oh,
and I like that.
There's do you know the Frightened Rabbit?
Yeah.
There's a song called Backwards Walk that always fucking gets me. It's so fucking good. Oh man, music's the fucking best. I gotta say, I love comedy. I think music's like first love. Like music was the first artistic thing that I ever like truly loved. And I grew up with weird influences like at a young age, but I also had a sister who was like the biggest Our Lady Peace fan. Yeah. Biggest. Like all stuff all over her walls and stuff. Like that was a band that like we were talking about Our Lady Peace last night.
And she had like a weird hate thing with Chantal Kreviazek for taking Rain away from her.
I don't know. I think she liked Chantal. Okay. And my other sister was a huge Chantal fan.
She has that lyric like before the rain. She's talking about rain.
I heard that like they're kind of snobby.
I'm sure. Oh my God.
That's what I heard.
Medium successful Toronto hipsters? Snobby? Are you kidding?
Where's Rain from?
I don't know, but they were in Ontario and they were like not quite popular, but also not quite indie. And I feel like that's exactly like, I'll bet if you met, what's his name from the Goo Goo Dolls, he'd be like,
Johnny Resnick.
Yeah, I'll bet you Johnny Resnick is 100% above it. And you're like, no, you're not.
Oh my God.
No, you're not. Or Third Eye Blind guy. We talked about him, I think, last time I was on Solo.
Oh, I have some new developments about him.
Oh God, I don't know but I'll bet you that guy is like a snob.
So you know what? You know the saying, don't meet your heroes?
Sure.
Don't listen to your heroes don't listen to your heroes on a podcast. That's my new iteration. Oh my God. That phrase.
You know what I found out today? Related. Meredith Brooks voted for Trump.
What? No. First of all, how did you find this out?
my pal sent me Meredith Brooks' Twitter account, and it was like, bitch, lover, child, mother. And he was like, I think maybe she has kind of an Uncle Rico vibe from Napoleon Dynamite, reliving past glories. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Meredith Brooks.
And then he was like on a deep dive. So he sent me my buddy Justin. I'll give him a shout out. He's my favorite person. But he was like, yeah, it turns out she approves of Trump and disapproves of Hillary. And I was like, well, she told us she was a bitch.
She
like,
told us.
When someone tells you what they are, listen,
Believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them. That's fucking funny.
I know.
Oh my God, that's why. Like going back and being like, where are these people now, or like, who are they now?
Yeah,
like from your past, like that's crazy. Stephen Jenkins from Third Eye Blind somehow crossed paths with my favorite podcast, Guys Be Fucked, and went on as a guest, and it was one of the most horribly awkward interviews ever, because I don't think he knew what the podcast was or the whole point of it, which is like to kind of dive into sexuality and on like personal stuff, and the whole show was like him dodging personal questions, and then it came out at the end that he has a Third Eye Blind do a podcast called Pod of Wine, but they don't really promote it or anything, and they don't have very many listeners because they just kind of shoot the shit after shows and stuff.
Oh no.
But you're right, he is quite stuck up and like cocky and kind of holier than thou a little bit.
Yeah, nothing will ruin a person faster than mid-level success.
They're not quite like way up there, but they're certainly not down there.
Yeah. And they also maybe don't have cred. So they like resent that they don't have cred, but they've like achieved like more. So they're like, they've got a bee in their bonnet about that shit.
I'll forgive them for everything just because that first album is so fucking good.
Sure.
It's deep within my DNA. Third Eye Blind. Also a band that me and Big Cat bonded over a lot.
Oh,
he was a big Third Eye Blind fan.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
He loved fucking music. Like we had nights that like it's so sad. We would just literally sit at his computer and we listened to music together.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not something that like I think a lot of adults do together. You don't like get together with a friend and like just put on music and talk about the music.
I want to.
I want you too.
Yeah. But no, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like what's better?
Nothing. There's literally nothing better than music. I feel like the whole deaf or blind, I think I would go blind, honestly. I think I would go blind just so I could still hear music, but also for the comedy aspect of like, laughter's nice to hear too.
Sure.
So,
well, when it's as loud as it is for me, you can lose some sensitivity and you're still doing okay.
Oh my God. It's a good way to end this podcast. Let's end this podcast, Kyle.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to pop off about while you're still here?
Pop off about? No.
We've popped off about enough.
I think so. I don't know. It's pretty good. Life's good.
Life is good.
Yeah. Just, keep working on shit and have fun doing it.
Oh, I love that. Let's all strive to be like Kyle. I know that I do. I strive to be like Kyle.
I mean, I work on it.
It's not always easy being awesome.
No, that's okay. I know I just said like a super arrogant thing, like so I need to make it worse. So I need to walk it back now, but like whatever. I think I will say, like, I think I'm happier the more I'm able to concentrate on just the practice of craft.
Yeah.
The more I can do that, the less like I'm thinking about myself in comparison to other people or like what my goals are, like externally. I just know like, hey, if I just wrote a line that I'm really proud of.
Take the pressure off.
Take the pressure off. Yep. Life's better with lower stakes.
I feel like, and I also feel like, here's something, guys. Don't, your hobbies shouldn't be obligations.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I've figured out where I go, I don't have new material. I have to write new jokes.
You're right.
And then I try to force it because of the keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with Mike's, keeping up with people's perception of me. And I go, fuck this. Like, I'm just going to write the jokes when I write the jokes. I'm not getting paid for this shit.
No.
I didn't sign a comedy contract.
Yeah.
I'm not working for comedy. It's supposed to be a hobby. That's supposed to be enriching and fun.
Yeah.
And I consistently ruin it for myself. So why do that? Why do that?
Most of it's really dumb.
Most of it is so dumb.
It's just dumb. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, you should have fun. Have fun with hobbies. That's what they're for.
Be dumb.
Be dumb.
Be more dumb.
I'm dumb all the time. Like when I think about the fact that I don't watch TV anymore, I just scroll TikTok. I go, this is so dumb.
That's pretty rough.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I gotta watch like White Lotus or something over the holidays.
I will tell you the goal that I've had for myself is just being more intentional with media.
Yeah.
So like,
fuck, man, that's a great intention.
And I don't even mean like, I'm not saying like, I want to read more books. Just like, no. I just want to know that if I'm looking at something, I want to be looking at it.
Yes.
Because there's so much that's just like easy. Like
you just put something on and then you're just like kind of taking it in, but you're kind of like half taking it in because you're not really that interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same.
I'm actively trying to like not watch YouTube if I'm doing something else, you know?
Yeah.
Or, and yeah, just choosing a thing rather than letting it happen.
I really respect that. I need to do that more too. Cause yeah, the TikTok scroll is just, you feel like a fucking zombie, but at the same time, I also like, I'm so entertained by it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I was a Viner. Like I loved Vine.
Sure. You know, like,
so that's why.
I do get it.
That's why I love TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok, and I know TikTok's algorithms are like laser focused. To,
oh
like,
my God.
get you. So I'm getting
scary.
I'm getting the shitty version on the other things for Reels. So, and whenever I click one, I'm like, I don't feel better. This didn't benefit me.
And if you're an Instagram Reelser, TikTokers will make fun of you quite a bit because the running joke is that Instagram Reels will eventually feed you what TikTok is feeding people, but it's like behind.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like the boomer version of video consumption.
I don't care. Content is poison.
On that note, subscribe to this podcast, everyone. Because who knows how much longer it's going to be around. Who knows? I'm just saying it. We don't know. Yeah. It's undetermined, but I would appreciate subscribe, share, all of that stuff. And I want to thank my amazing guest for joining me today.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you.
That was also so fun.
Okay, I see on your screen, Max Landis wrote the Carly Rae Jepsen. Fuck that guy.
Do you know him?
Yeah, of course.
Oh shit.
John Landis' son. But
it's impressive, Kyle. It's called A Scar No One Else Can See. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. Did he take it down? Oh, that makes me sad. I think I have I'll be honest. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this shit. Kyle, look at this.
Yeah.
Like this is, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I dived into this. I love this shit. I really, really do.
I get it.
Can you separate the artist from the art and check it out?
Well, I could, except he is such a masturbatory artist.
What's his deal?
Oh. We ended this. Let's talk away.
Let's talk about it off mic. Thank you so much, Kyle, for coming on. Bye-bye. We done. Oh, actually, ring the bell. Woo!
Thank you for listening to the Intoxicated Podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast app you use and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. You can also give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast and check out our video episodes on the Intoxicated YouTube channel. Until next week, feel hard and talk hard. Intoxicated Podcast is hosted and produced by Sarah McClellan and brought to you by the messiness of life.